Have you ever met someone who seems incredibly smart, logical, and maybe even a little intimidating? You might have been talking to an INTJ. INTJs are one of the rarest personality types out there, and they have a totally unique way of thinking about the world. They're like the super-focused masterminds who are always strategizing and solving problems. But even though INTJs are awesome, there are some phrases and comments that just don't sit well with them. Things that seem totally innocent to you might make an INTJ roll their eyes or even get annoyed. So if you want to stay on an INTJ's good side, whether it's a friend, coworker, or maybe even a crush, there are some things you should definitely avoid saying. Why does this matter? Well, understanding how INTJs think can help you build better relationships and avoid misunderstandings. Ready to find out what those things are? Let's dive in. INTJs are incredibly knowledgeable and pride themselves on their expertise. They put in a lot of effort to understand things deeply. So here's the first big no-no. Don't ever tell them they don't know what they're talking about. Phrases like, "Are you sure about that?" or "That's not how it works," will instantly put them on the defensive. Even if you think you know better, it's important to approach any disagreements respectfully. Instead of flat-out contradicting them, try asking questions like, "Interesting. How did you come to that conclusion?" It shows you're open to their perspective and might even spark a fascinating conversation. INTJs are always thinking, analyzing, and coming up with new ideas. But they don't just share those thoughts with anyone. So if an INTJ opens up to you, the worst thing you can do is dismiss them with comments like, "That's silly," or "You think too much." INTJs need to feel like their ideas are valued and taken seriously, even if you don't completely agree. If their idea sounds a bit out there, try saying something like, "That's an interesting perspective, tell me more." This gives them space to elaborate and shows that you're genuinely interested. INTJs are classic introverts. They need time alone to recharge and process their thoughts. Telling an INTJ to lighten up or go out more isn't going to work. They're naturally independent and don't thrive on constant social interaction. Instead of pushing them out of their comfort zone, respect their need for downtime. If they decline an invitation, don't take it personally. Suggest low-key activities that they might enjoy, or give them the space they need to come around on their own time. INTJs are strategic thinkers who enjoy crafting detailed plans. If you want to make an INTJ really frustrated, tell them you can't do that, especially if they've already meticulously thought things through. Of course, sometimes there are genuine reasons why a plan might not work. Instead of shutting them down, try exploring the obstacles together. Phrase it like, "Okay, I see your vision. What do you think about this potential roadblock?" This turns it into a collaborative problem-solving session instead of a dismissal. INTJs prioritize logic and reason over feelings. This doesn't mean they're cold or uncaring. They simply process the world differently. Comments like, "You need to smile more," or "Why are you so serious?" won't change their fundamental nature. INTJs express their emotions subtly, and they need space to process them in their own way. Instead of pressuring them to be more emotionally expressive, focus on understanding their actions and the reasoning behind them. If you see they're struggling, try asking a simple, "Is there anything I can do to help?" instead of telling them how they should feel. INTJs are innovative thinkers, always looking for better, more efficient ways to do things. Trying to convince them to do something just because that's how it's always been done is a recipe for an argument. They value progress and aren't afraid to challenge the status quo. If you want to suggest a different approach, back it up with logic and reasoning. Explain why you think your way might be more effective, and be open to hearing their counterpoints. INTJs are independent thinkers who aren't afraid to go against the grain. Pressuring them with comments like, "Everyone else is doing it," or "You should just fit in," will only make them more resistant. They value their individuality and don't make decisions based on what's popular. Instead of trying to make them conform, appreciate their unique perspective. It's what makes them so interesting. INTJs hate being micromanaged. They're highly competent and driven, and they thrive when given autonomy. Hovering over their shoulder or constantly checking in on them will frustrate them and erode their trust in you. If you're their manager or team member, give them clear goals and deadlines. Then step back and let them work their magic. Trust that they know what they're doing, and you'll see better results than if you try to control their every move. INTJs like to thoroughly process information before making decisions. Rushing them with comments like, "Hurry up and decide," or "Can't you just give me a quick answer?" will backfire. They need time to think things through carefully. Instead of pressuring them for a snap decision, give them space to consider their options. If you need an answer by a certain time, let them know up front and they'll likely be much more accommodating. INTJs don't enjoy shallow conversations. They crave discussions about ideas, theories, and the big picture. Bombarding them with mindless small talk about the weather or weekend plans will leave them feeling bored and disengaged. If you want to have a meaningful conversation with an INTJ, try digging a little deeper. Ask about their current projects, their thoughts on a recent book or documentary, or their opinions on a complex issue. You'll pique their interest and have a much more stimulating exchange. ENTJs are confident in their knowledge and abilities. Unfortunately, this confidence can sometimes be misinterpreted as arrogance. Phrases like, "You think you're so smart," or "You always have to be right," will put them firmly on the defensive. Remember, INTJs are driven by a desire to learn and improve. Rather than feeling threatened by their intellect, try to see it as an opportunity to learn something new. Engage in healthy debate with them, respectfully challenge their opinions, and you might be surprised by the insights you gain. So we've covered a lot of ground about things you should avoid saying to an INTJ. But remember, even with the best intentions, misunderstandings can still happen. The key is open and honest communication. If you think you might have accidentally offended an INTJ, don't be afraid to address it directly. A simple and sincere, "Hey, I think I might have said something earlier that didn't sit well with you. Can we talk about it?" can go a long way in smoothing things over. The most important takeaway is to appreciate INTJs for their unique way of thinking. They're intelligent, analytical, and always looking for ways to improve the world around them. By understanding and respecting their perspectives, you can build stronger, more meaningful relationships with the INTJs in your life. Thanks for watching. If you found this video helpful, be sure to like and subscribe for more content like this. And if you have any other video ideas, let me know in the comments.